Imagine for a moment you have this really nice canyon in your backyard, and you think to yourself, gosh, this would be a great place to put a highway, which is exactly what some people figured about 85 years ago. So they started to build a road, and when they came to this river, they built a bridge over it. And then a catastrophe struck. A huge flood scoured out the canyon and wiped out the road. And they were left with a bridge to nowhere. The hike starts at this gate at the end of Camp Bonita Road. Directions to the trailhead are in the description. Keep in mind, this is a busy place on weekends, and the parking lot is often full. You may have to park down the road a bit. The hike starts off easy enough on a level dirt road above the east fork of the San Gabriel River. A half-mile later, the road ends just beyond a sign and a metal box with self-issuing wilderness permits. It's required that you fill out one and keep a copy for yourself. You'll need it when you enter the Sheep Mountain Wilderness. The trail from here drops to the river and appears to continue up the rocks. Well, no. It's the first of many misleading paths. Instead, we have our first personal contact with the river. If the water is low, you can skirt along the right shore, or cross the stream and recross it about 50 yards later. Should have brought another pair of socks. In a way, this is a reminder of why we're hiking this route instead of driving. You see, the original idea behind this was to connect San Gabriel Valley to the mountain town of Wrightwood via a two-lane highway. Not sure why that was necessary, but someone thought it would be a good idea. So, construction started in 1929. Unfortunately, 9 years later, a huge flood wiped out the first 5 miles of the road, leaving only the bridge over the east fork of the San Gabriel River. Now, some sources say this was the fourth largest flood in California history, although I don't know how they measure these things. At any rate, no one wanted to invest in rebuilding the road, and the project died. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. The trail isn't always distinct. It gets lost among the many rocks. Okay, which way do I go? Let's try this. Plus, it doesn't help when the thousands of people who have hiked through here have wandered off the path so many times, they've worn dead-end trails to fake out the future thousands to come along. Okay, that didn't accomplish much. In keeping with the theme of our destination, you could, I suppose, call them trails to nowhere. One strategy to keep your navigational errors to a minimum is to watch for these spray-painted arrows on the rocks, or the rare cairn. Another precaution is to remind yourself that just because you see footprints doesn't mean they lead anywhere meaningful. Now, if this sounds tedious, Yeah, it can be. But as long as you stay in the canyon, you won't get irreparably lost, so there's that. Now, for the first 2 miles, each time the canyon walls close in, there will be another river crossing. While this can appear tiresome, look on the bright side. Each time you hit the water, you're in a serene, riparian setting. And if it's a hot day, a pleasant place to pause and cool off.
How's it going?
I did say it gets busy here. Along the way, we come to the occasional highway artifacts left behind after the great 1938 flood, such as these bridge supports to nowhere, or patches of asphalt to nowhere. After about 3 miles, we enter the Sheep Mountain Wilderness. From here, the trail is more often than not easier to follow. The trail continues meandering through the canyon. Eventually, it shoots up the hillside for a short climb. Well, less than a mile. Now, word of warning here. Watch out for the yuccas. They can poke holes in your skin. Now, some hiking sites, videos, are going to tell you this is a strenuous hike. And the creek crossings, trail finding, yeah, that's going to wear you out a little bit. But overall, it's moderate. Not easy, moderate. Eventually, after traversing the ridge, the trail levels off at this sign. Note the no-nonsense warning that being stupid is no excuse for stupidity. We'll stick a pin in that and continue. A few minutes later, we are treated to the initially nondescript sight of a concrete roadway. But hey, underneath is a bridge. A really big bridge that's 120 feet above the river as it squeezes through the canyon narrows. This bridge is unusual for more than the obvious reason of it not being connected to a functioning road. A bungee jumping company owns the structure and the surrounding 50 acres within the wilderness. On the weekends, they offer those with a Franklin and change the opportunity to plunge out over the river. Now, if that doesn't thoroughly scare the crap out of you, after 3 turns, they allow you the chance to get fancy with what they call advanced jumps. That is, front or back flips, the elevator drop, and the lumberjack, where you imitate, I'm guessing, a falling tree. I noted on this particular day the jumpers were almost all women, while the men hung back. There's nothing special about returning. We simply follow the same path back to the trailhead. Then again, that's complicated enough. Although for some reason I was able to follow the route more easily than on the way in. It became the trail to somewhere. So, if you like this video, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Just to let you know, I post one hike each week. And in the meantime, go to the woods, no matter who you are.